Hey, what up, what up, what up, what up? Yes, new background, ladies, new backgrounds in the house. We are here. Y'all know I'm going to brush this hair on camera because you know it's a whole production, it's a whole setup. You know how it is. You guys are getting the new background, the new setup, the new backdrop. Yes, we had talked about it last year. Remember, ladies, I said I'm not going to come back until we can do something completely different. So I'm doing something completely different. I have feng shuied the whole room. If you guys could see, like the front, it's like a whole production. It's like a whole studio in here now. But I just feel lighter. I just feel better. I got my ring light. I got my natural light right here. You know, we got everything going, everything popping. We got our first guy, our first man. So, you know, shout out to Kamala Harris, you know, first, you know, Mr. Vice President's wife. We got our first Black man for the Black Girl Boss Chat, Mr. Chris Senegal, $1 million real estate investor, mind of a millionaire, buying the block. Super, super excited about that. We got our girl Sweetie, so we're going to let the people come in. And you guys jump out into the comments. I want to hear how you guys feel about the new background. Doesn't it feel better? I just feel better. You know, I got the energy going, the good karma, the good feng shui. That's what it's all about in 2021, ladies. It's that good feng shui. So tell me what you think. As you see the ghetto, we're not going to get away from Sweetie. So let me go ahead and just restart that. Luckily, I put the clean version on this time because some of you guys got the other version that were like, wait, what is going on? So, okay, we're letting the people come in live on the YouTube. What up, YouTube? YouTube family, YouTube land. We see you. And the Facebook group. We see you popping in. And don't forget, if you cannot pop in at 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. EST, and 9 p.m. PST, this will live in the private Facebook group, but also the public YouTube channel. So get all the good gems. And we're going to start jumping the clips onto our Instagram of the really good nuggets. So I am super excited. I have the book. The glitter book is here, guys. The workboard is over there. And I got rid of the clipboard because, you know, we're just going to do something different. So welcome to my background. As you can see, I've been watching a lot of CNN, a lot of Good Morning America. And, you know, they have these amazing, fabulous backgrounds. So mine is High Fashion Homes, the bomb. Okay, this armoire is really, really tall. It's super tall, but it's gold and bronze, and I love it. And I just kind of feel like it fits the aesthetic. So I have a whole studio set up in here, guys. I have like a ring light right here. If y'all could just see what's going on, and I have this laptop hook boogie onto like some shoe boxes, but you know what? It's doing what we need it to do. And I think going forward, I'm going to wear my glasses because before, I think my elevation, I was looking up at you guys, and I kind of like this a little bit better. So where I'm looking like dead ahead. So welcome to the new set. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you guys think, as you always do. So welcome to a Black Girl Boss Chat. This is episode 6 or episode 7. Either way, episode 6 or episode 7. I'm not quite sure. Hold on. I think this is episode 7. Either way, I'm very excited about this episode because we have the man that everyone is trying to get on and nobody can get, but I got him. Mr. Chris Senegal, mind of the $1 million investor, Mr. Buy the Block, hashtag Buy the Block, doing big things in 5th Ward, 3rd Ward, 4th Ward, the trade all over Houston, expanding his reach into digital products, his YouTube presence, his online platforms, his freebies, his downloads, and you are going to get all the gems that you will not hear on Clubhouse. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this banner. You guys know I love to walk through what I'm doing when I'm on StreamYard. So as you guys know, shout out to StreamYard. We are working on that partnership for this year. We are already affiliates with them. We got that affiliate link. You guys know I love StreamYard. So I was in Clubhouse the other day, guys. And I was in an amazing Clubhouse with Grant Cardone, a whole bunch of people. And we are talking about developing pop-up products. What's a pop-up product? A pop-up product basically is a small digestible chunk of one task and one thing that you can do and monetize it. I'm sorry, guys. I love Ariana Grande, but she's going to have to shut her ass up. Okay, because we're into the show now. A pop-up product. And I was like, you know, I learned StreamYard. Y'all know when I do digital stuff, I learn everything from scratch. I learned StreamYard from scratch. And I'm telling you, for the price point, as a creator, if you want to get into videos and content, if you do not have a StreamYard Pro account, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is how I'm going to come to the people all 2021. So I'm going to do a pop-up product. It's going to be an A through Z guide, how to set up your StreamYard to become a content empire in 10 minutes. Literally, I'm going to walk you through this in 10 minutes. How to do your banners, which program to get, how to set up from the beginning, how to bring your clients into the green room, how to chat, how to test everything. So I'm super excited about that. And then I thought about all the other useless wealth of information that I am with little things that I do. And I said, you know what, around that $29, $39 digital download price point, I could hit a whole bunch of pop-up products and put them in my SAM card and literally sell them. And it's literally one task. I know with creatives, we sometimes go too wide, and we try to do books and stuff on everything, but this is one task with a series of steps, worksheets, guides on how to do one thing and do it well one time. So pop-up products in the DIY Entrepreneur Academy are coming to Champagne and Melanin, as well as Drake with PR. So stay on the lookout for that. Guess what, guys? I hit 1,035 on Clubhouse. I'm super excited. Shout out to my girl, our girl, Chastity Mims, the PR guru, the media and branding and marketing sensei, who pushed me, the media guru, and kept me going on Clubhouse. Now we have an amazing Tuesday and Thursday night panel. We do 4 different rooms. We're super excited about that. So follow your girl on Clubhouse, as you very well know. Let's go through our church announcements. And let's do a quick mental health check-in. So I'm feeling quite fabulous. As you can see on the TV, I finally figured out this damn Samsung. Y'all know every time I be talking about my TV, but they have this thing called Ambient. And you can put different things on there like pictures and backgrounds. It's like a picture, like an actual digital picture that just sits in your house. So I finally hit the button like, what is this Ambient mode? And it's like a whole new world for my TV. So I was looking for different things, like what can I put on there to take the glare off? And I found these cool gold interchanger things. And I was like, gold, blingy, champagne and melanin it is. So that's where we are with the Ambient. I went ahead and put the pillow right here. All you guys keep asking for the pillow in the merchandise shop, and I'm going to bring it back. I'm bringing back the pillows. The sweatshirts are here. I promise I'm bringing back the pillows. I just had to find a really good supplier, so I found a really good one that is not on Printful, you guys. Yes, Alibaba Express. Shout out to Alibaba Express. So the pillows are coming back, ladies. So always, don't forget, we got to go through church announcements. So you know what to do. Follow us on Instagram. That's where everything lives. That's where everything starts. You know, the Linktree has a newsletter, the merchandise, the grants, all the upcoming stuff that we have. I'm getting a jump on all my speakers. So you saw that Chris was going to be coming up last week when we had the amazing episode with Devon Hatchett, Esquire attorney. Girl, get your trademark right. Drop down into the YouTube right now. That episode is up and it's live and it's fabulous. If you want to know about trademarks, registration, and copyright for your business. Girl, get your trademark right with Devon Hatchett, who is also the attorney for Champagne and Melanin. And we showed you that live unboxing of my physical trademark. You know, I've had that for 2 years. So this week or next week, I'm going to do my live framing. We're going to frame the trademark. I'll take you guys on the journey with me. So go to Champagne and Melanin, give us a follow on Instagram, because that's where everything starts and that's where everything lives. Next thing we want you to do is definitely go to the merchandise shop. The merch is here. You know, for these next couple of months for Black History Month, I don't think I'm going to wear my merchandise. I have some big things coming out, but I have an amazing Black History Month sale right now. So I'm going to put up a Black History Month sale, and you guys are going to get a free mask with purchase. So everyone is loving the mask. I love my masks. They stay up on your nose. They're super fashionable. They're that silky black, so they're gorgeous, darling. So definitely there's going to be a gift with purchase for the whole of Black History Month, 28 days. Free mask for purchase. I'm going to drop that in the Shopify. So wait until I do that. Don't make a purchase until I do that, and I'll attach it to whatever you pull up. Next, make sure you follow us in the Facebook group. If you're here right now, you're in the group, but also follow our Facebook business page. As you know, we duplicate a lot of the content, but more of the business work goes on the Facebook page, and more of the conversation goes in the Facebook group right here with you guys. So I'm super excited about that. And also, if you want to partner with us, sponsor an event, sponsor a workshop, we have the brunch coming up in April. Drop me an email, hello@champagneandmelanin.co. It's hello, and you have to do like a hand gesture. Like, you know, send me a hand gesture or emoticon. Hello@champagneandmelanin. It is .co, not .com. If you send it to .com, it's somewhere in the atmosphere, girl. I don't know where you sent the damn email, but you did send it to me. So it is .co. I picked .co on purpose We'll talk about that at another time. So definitely shoot us an email. Let us know if you want to partner and get together, because we have all type of goodies for you there also. I think that's the end of church announcements. Hello, chat. Oh, let me do my business stuff also. In my other life, as you guys know, I am the owner of J. Griffith Public Relations, a boutique PR firm based here in Houston, Texas for 15 years. We specialize in healthcare, tech, ideation, VC, startup, women entrepreneurs, oil, gas, and energy. And right now, our focus is on taking your brand to the next level and getting your PR message journey out there. Give me a visit. www.julieogriffith.com. Shoot me an email for all your PR needs, and don't forget to book that consultation. Also, speaking of Clubhouse and Instagram, follow my personal page, Julie O. Griffith on Instagram, Julie O. Griffith on Clubhouse. Get into it, because we are talking about some amazing things. Ladies, if you're a business owner in 2021, this is not the time to be sedentary. Clubhouse is a free app. Yes, there's been a lot of conversation about the $1 billion valuation right now, and how African Americans, how Black people, basically, once again, we've built something from scratch, and once again, we're not going to get anything out of it. I totally understand that conversation. However, right now, you got to use it for your own needs. I will honestly tell you, Tuesdays and Thursday nights for me is money making night. Tuesday and Thursday is money making day. I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. On Tuesday and Thursday, I'm where the money resides, Clubhouse, okay? Because I make a cute coin on Clubhouse, and I make it consistently every week. A lot of us get into this very wide and broad. I need to make all my money up front. That drip and trickle of money from Clubhouse, from booking consultations, raising my Instagram profile, sending people to my website, being a subject matter expert that knows what she's talking about. I'm not going to talk about some of y'all that I see on there that barely have any Instagram followers talking about I'm an expert. An expert at what? What do you know, sis? You have no clout. You don't have 10,000 hours. You're not Malcolm Gladwell in any country. So what are you doing on Clubhouse? But if you are a business owner, get on Clubhouse. I have 7 invites that I have not used. If you need an invite and you have an iPhone and you need to get invited, I will personally invite you. I have a stack 7 on there. I'm hosting rooms, I'm moderating rooms, but I'm telling you guys, start on Clubhouse, get your profile. If you're not on there right now, you're obsolete. Start opening your ears, closing your mouth, and listening to these experts, but start adding value as an SME, because that's where the coins are. So you gotta get on Clubhouse, okay? So just keeping track of time. Oh, it's 11:13. I'm trying to see, do we have any more church announcements? I wanna make sure that I love this little ticker tape that we are here with Chris Senegal. And we are welcoming him in. You guys know when I'm looking to the left, I'm like doing different stuff. We're going to take off the scroll so we get the big banner, because I like to show you guys the different stuff you can do on StreamYard. So boom, there that is. We want to show this. Yes, welcome to a Black Girl Boss Chat with real estate investor, Mr. Chris Senegal. And the good thing about having all this light and all this fabulousness is that I can look to the right and be a good timekeeper, good steward of my time. Because as the girls, we like to run on, honey, because we have a key on this show. As you know, we keep it fresh, we keep it fabulous. We bring you the best in Black entrepreneurship and business. And that's another thing I have to ask you guys. I'm thinking about expanding my platform, because everybody loves a Black Girl Boss Chat. But I want to know how to bring it to you guys, because I'm going to keep it on YouTube. So for my other stuff, do you like YouTube? Do you like Patreon? Or do you think I should go ahead and launch the podcast? And not the visual podcast, because I give you enough video. I like the one I can listen. I want to put on my earbuds. I want to get onto Audible. I want to listen. The big visual podcast is a huge production. There's a couple of places in Houston that you can go and do a studio podcast, but they want you to pay all type of money. Listen, I'm a PR person. We hook boogie from the house, honey. I'm not trekking all the way down Harlan to a studio to do people try to do too much extra. All I want to do is get a Yeti mic and start a podcast, and I want you guys to listen, because I give you visuals on 4 different platforms. So let me know what you guys want to do. YouTube, Patreon, or Audible podcast. If you drop down in the comments, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email, and tell me what you think, and then you'll see what I'm going to do, what I'm going to come up with, because right now everybody is loving a Black Girl Boss Chat, including brands and sponsors. But that's a whole other conversation. Don't worry, we'll talk about it. So on that note, we are about to bring in the man himself, the wonderful, the fabulous. I hope you read his bio. I'm not going to talk about his bio. I'll let you guys look at it for himself, because he speaks for himself. He walks tall. He's a badass in Houston. # buy the block. Mr. Chris Senegal. And it started as, listen, I don't want gentrification to take over Houston the way it's taken over Brooklyn and Harlem and all these other places, and Wall Street and Tulsa, where, you know, we're not getting the benefits of living here and being residents here for years. But when we buy the block, the rents and the prices in the houses get jacked up to the point we can't afford to live where we've lived and worked and grown and seen our kids and put in restaurants for years. And there's some yuppie couple with a husky and their baby in a 3-wheel stroller. No, hey, no offense. They want to come in and get the benefits of our sweat and our back work. Now, you know I'm an immigrant, so when I say our, I mean Black people. That's the West Indians and the Africans too. I've been in Houston now for 15 years. I consider myself part of the community also, but Chris is definitely homegrown, and we're going to let him tell his story. I have Chris Senegal, the $1 million real estate investor, and we're going to get in the mind of a $1 million real estate investor right now. So get your tea, get your drinks, get your life, and get your headphones. And if we get an echo, someone drop down in the comments and let me know, because I'm about to bring him in 3. Here we go. Boom!
Hey.
Hey.
What's going on? What's going on?
Senegal. What's going on? Good morning.
Nothing
good morning.
much.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am amazing. So what I'm doing right now, as everyone knows, I am going to the Facebook group to check our sound to make sure that we don't have an echo. So you guys, this is Mr. Chris Senegal, the mind of $1 million real estate investor, Mr. By the Block, 5th Ward, Houston, Texas, and beyond. Chris, say hi to the people.
Hey, how are you? Hello out there to everybody that's tuning in. Did we get any verifications on the sound to see if it's echoing or not?
No, keep talking.
Okay. Test. Yeah, so Christopher Senegal, real estate investor, developer here in Houston, Texas. Born in Port Arthur. Actually born in Lake Charles, grew up in Port Arthur, went to Southern University. And I am now full-time real estate. Used to be an engineer in my former life, but been flipping houses and now do the development specifically in gentrifying neighborhoods and make sure we can control the narrative and control what happens in the communities.
Awesome, Chris. I just checked the sound. You know, this is a live show, guys. So the good thing about streaming on, guys, you got to move your phone away. You got to put it on do not disturb, and you got to check your echo. Shameless plug. They go to brand Ain't Caught Won't Shot. Get it on Champagne and Melanin merchandise. So I'm going to put this over here. And that was Mr. Chris Senegal's introduction. So Chris, you went from being an amazing, I think you said chemical engineer?
Civil engineer.
Civil engineer. Tell us, when did the real estate bug hit you and what got you into it?
2008, when I like a year out of school and been working, I just realized the whole corporate setup wasn't for me. Didn't want to do that for the next 40 years, so I started looking for an escape plan. Started reading books, and real estate just kept coming up as number one wealth creator for first generation wealth. So that's what made me get into it. So literally in the middle of the last recession, started flipping houses here in Houston, and just haven't looked back since.
Amazing. Well, you've had an amazing journey. I was going to say an amazing run, but that would have made sense because you're literally just getting started. So tell us kind of about your first property. Did you start as a regular real estate agent? Like when I want to go look at a house, Chris is in the house showing, or did you immediately jump into, listen, I want to build and develop something because I know how you engineers think.
Yeah, so being a real estate agent is a career, right? It's like a job. I wanted to be an investor from day one, so I didn't go that route. I didn't get my license. I went directly into buying properties. I bought the first house from a big wholesale company called Home Investors. You've probably seen the signs everywhere. It says, we buy ugly houses. So they buy the houses at a discount. They sell them to investors, and then investors do whatever they want with them. So I started, rehabbing some, flipping them to sell, rehab some and flip them to keep them as rental properties. So that's the route I went, and did that for about 5 or 6 years before I got into the kind of projects I'm doing now.
Awesome. So Home Investors started. Now, are those the guys that put up those signs, we'll buy your house for dirt cheap? Is that type of company?
Yeah. So that whole industry, yeah, that's the wholesale industry. So yeah, they're targeting distressed sellers, tired landlords, absentee owners, and trying to get them to agree to a purchase price that's below market value. No different than a pawn shop. Like, people need money. They'll take a $10,000 Rolex and accept $3,000 for it because they just need to get rid of the property, even if they know the value is higher. So that's the same approach that you use with real estate. And so that group markets to the investors, and then the investors buy it and make money off of it also.
Awesome. So your first investment that you had, walk us through that journey about your first investment. Like, were you scared? Were you nervous? Like, I know they always say don't use your own money. Like, how was that, like, euphoria? How did that feel? Your very first investment?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I won't say I was scared, because what I always tell people is make sure you have the right team around you, the right experienced guides or mentors to help you. So in that case, I actually had a contractor that actually worked for the same people I bought the house from, and he was doing like 20 rehabs a month for them. So by having him kind of on my team, he wanted me to be successful because he knew he can get more business out of me if I continued to work with him. So so the first house I actually borrowed against the little money I had in the 401k, and the company was matching, so it's like $14,000. So I borrowed against that. I used that for my down payment, and then I used what's called a hard money loan, which is a short-term, high-interest loan, like 12% interest rate. But your goal is to be in and out of the project in 3 or 4 months. So that's what I did, and that's how I got the money and the experienced team partner to do the deal.
Awesome. Chris, I'm going to put you in the green room real quick and pull you right back because it's getting a little bit pixelated on your end. I don't know if that's the Wi-Fi. All I'm going to do is just put you in the green room like this, and then I'm going to add you right back. Let me see. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay. It's just getting a little bit pixelated, so I'm just trying to figure out if that's on my end or your end. Okay, now it's clear. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. So when you are going out looking at properties and you're kind of like, okay, scoping out the neighborhood, driving around, what are some of the things that you look for first? Like, okay, this would be a good investment, or I'm going to put this one in my back pocket, watch it, and sit on it.
So it's not so much driving around, it's more so doing the data and the research to understand what's going on in that neighborhood through real estate sales activity. So you are looking at, recent sales, what price point they're selling at, how long they're sitting on the market. And then you're looking at if investors are buying houses as is, what they're paying for them, and then what they're selling them for after they're repaired. And those give you the key indicators on what neighborhoods to look in. And then, a house can be in any condition. You can buy a house that's practically brand new from foreclosure sale and buy it at a good price, or you can buy one that needs to be completely renovated and buy it at a good price. But you just have to make sure you buy it at a good price where you can pay for all of the renovations and still be in a positive equity position. So so I mean that's pretty much it. But I like the neighborhoods where there's a lot of activity. I specifically focus on our neighborhoods now, where there is some type of catalyst, some type of economic catalyst that maybe that and like in Fifth Ward, it's a big development by Midway, who's outside the community. So we can't stop them, but what we can do is make sure we're buying up everything around it, making sure that we are profiting from it, and we're also looking out for existing residents in the process.
Excellent. And that's a great segue to my favorite hashtag buy the block. I love it. I love what you're doing in Fifth Ward. I'm kind of downtown Midtown area. So this is, what is this, Fourth Ward where I live, where those cobblestones are. So so walk us through when the light bulb started going off for you, like about buying the block. Like, don't just buy a house, but buy the barbershop, buy everything around it. Like, take us through that journey because it's fascinating.
Yeah, so like 2013, I realized I was just kind of doing what everybody else was doing, flipping houses, the whole HGTV model. It's not as sexy as they make it look on HGTV at all. A lot more headache tied to it.
I'm addicted to everything on HGTV, flipping houses, reconstruction. I just feel like, come on. It's so good. But it's not. It's
not reality.
It's real.
There's a lot of things they leave out of those equations. But so outside of that, I wanted to just have a bigger impact. And what I realized is that gentrification always happens in our communities, and oftentimes, even as fix and flippers or as wholesalers, you contribute to that if you're not cognizant of what you're doing and who you're marketing to and who the end buyers are. So for me, it was like, well, how can I kind of control that narrative more than just one house at a time? So what I stumbled upon was there's already people that own a bunch of real estate, and usually they're older landlords. And for whatever reason, their kids don't want to take over that real estate business, so they're selling that property. And so for me, that group became my target. Like, find people that have entire blocks or like big real estate portfolios that they're willing to sell, and then go to them and buy the whole portfolio from them. and then use creative things where you don't have to go to the bank, where you can negotiate a payment on terms, which is basically seller financing. So the seller takes a down payment from you, and you make mortgage payments to them without having to go to the bank, without having to worry about getting a credit check, without being underwritten by some third party, and without somebody, some basically usually a white decision maker telling you, no, that neighborhood isn't worth that right now, and we're not willing to pay you to give you the money to buy that. So get all that out the way, deal directly with the seller. Then you can control entire big parcels of land. That term "buy the block" came around like 2018. So I was like, man, I've been doing this for years. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, to be able to do that and then control what happens on this property is what's vitally important. So the first block I bought, I was doing new construction on it, and because I specifically wanted to bring the working professionals back to the community. When I started that project, Midway had already announced they're doing a $2.4 billion development in Fifth Ward, right on Buffalo Bayou, and that's usually what you're talking about earlier, with the yuppies come in, right? Because there's a time frame between the time that big development is announced to the time that development is done, where they're coming in and steadily buying everything, and we usually miss that wave because we aren't cut in on that model. We're taught go in the suburbs where the school districts are already good, and where the crime is zero, and but the houses don't really appreciate 2 or 3%. Meanwhile, they're buying in the area that they know is being turned around, and the house values triple or quadruple, right? Exactly. And so so my model on the new construction was to bring working professionals back to the community. That's working very well. I built and sold the first 5, and I have 8 more coming out of permitting, hopefully in the next week or so, to be able to build those. And most of those are pre-sold already, all young Black working professionals. So it's been going pretty well.
Well, I love it. I stalked you last year in the DM when I thought I was gonna be in a position, and then Miss Rona said, "Girl, if you don't down." But luckily, I will be watching you in 2021, and then I'll be stalking you in 2022. So just put that in your back pocket. You heard it on Champagne and Melanin first, people. Yes, it's time. It's time for me to own a piece of the pie. Something. So Chris Senegal. So definitely that work and professional behavior that you're thinking, like bringing the community and the money will come. Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit more about that, because you get these people in Houston that think you're not doing it big if you're not way out in Siena or by Olympus Park, or way out of there in the Woodlands, which I can't stand. So how do you sell not only the block, but the goal of building a community of professionals that looks just like you?
Well, I mean, it's communication and it's education, right? Because I mean, you don't have to go far in Houston to see where it started. I mean, it started in the Heights. The Heights used to be a poor Hispanic neighborhood. Midtown used to be a poor Black neighborhood, and now there's $1 million homes in both neighborhoods. The third ward is right behind it. The majority of nice townhomes are $400,000 plus now. 10 years ago, they were like in the hundreds, like 150, 180,000. So sometimes we don't look at the examples that are right in front of us, the clear case studies of what goes on. And so this is literally the last opportunity, the last historically Black neighborhood in Houston that surrounds downtown, that is going through the same revitalization process. So either you get in on this opportunity or you miss the last opportunity in the city. And I mean, we see how nice third ward is becoming now, the new HEB and the medical center area, how it's built up. Fifth Ward is going to be that on steroids. Anybody that's familiar with Houston, that's been to City Center, can understand that if you imagine picking up City Center, putting it on the water right next to downtown, that's going to completely change the landscape of Fifth Ward. And so just making sure that everybody understands that, and making sure everybody understands that when you get in 2 or 3 years ahead and you buy a house, you're going to have a lot of value appreciation. That's going to make your personal net worth a lot higher. You're gonna have a lot of equity in homes to do a lot of things with. And so just having that conversation, it has really been what's sold it. And also the fact that understanding the history of our communities, these weren't always poor communities. Before desegregation, these neighborhoods thrived. The doctors, the lawyers, the business owners, everybody lived in these communities, the principals, everybody. And so now we have an opportunity to kind of rebuild those complete communities. And what that does, once you have the higher incomes back in the community, it makes it more attractive for businesses to come back, right? Grocery store is never going to come back to a low-income neighborhood because they're not going to make enough money to survive. Restaurants either, anything where the people have to have high enough income to have disposable income to patronize the establishments, that has to be in place before the businesses come back. But it all starts with us buying rooftops and being creative. Like my property is right on Highway 59 where the new construction is. You can see downtown, from there. So you got great views. So I mean, it just makes sense. You just have to be willing to get in a little bit ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. And speaking of kind of like building that community in, so has your business been able to like get you in those conversations with those big box stores, like the Targets and, the HEBs, which is headquartered here in like San Antonio and Houston, and has a huge African-American kind of executive push. Like, how is that when you're pitching kind of the block and re-gentrifying an area? How do you start placing like, the Petco and the Target, not the Walmart? We don't want that. We want the Target. And like the Trader Joe's, like how does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, it takes time. So each one of those companies, they have a site selection committee, and what they do is they pull the census data, they pull other city data that gives you clear information on what the current demographic is, what the average income is, and they each have their own thresholds of what they want to see in that community and the density of it. Because if the average household income is 200,000, but it's only 5 people, then that doesn't really help, right? So it has to be, a significant amount of people and a significant level of income for them to have interest in coming back to the community. And then you have to have a developer that's willing to take the risk to build the building for them to be in, because most of everybody you just named leases. None of them really own the real estate. So that's a process that comes second. So the first step, like I said, is getting more rooftops and more higher incomes in the community and then trying to go to them at that point.
Absolutely. So this is a good segue into, tell me some of the stumbling blocks that you've run into as you're building your business. I mean, like every time you turn on the Shade Room, you'll see these ads, flip houses with no income, no credit, no college. Mm-hmm. You don't even have to be breathing. You can actually be dead and still make money. And I know it makes your skin crawl. So tell me the difference between that and what you do. I mean, I know, but educate like the world on what that's all about.
Yeah, so I actually know a bunch of those guys that advertise on Shade Room. It's funny.
Oh my God, Chris, get your people.
I know. Yeah.
You could be a dog. You could be a cat and make money. Come on. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I have had a lot of issues, especially starting the new construction project. Like I said, nobody wanted to fund from a banking perspective. So I had to get really creative. I had to get the seller on board to basically partner with me. Instead of me paying off the balance that I still owed him on the mortgage, we converted it over to like a joint venture type agreement, where as I sell houses, I pay him. Then I had an investor come in, Kim McLean, actually from Houston. She took money out of one of her old 401ks from her oil and gas job, like $250,000, and we used that as investment capital as well to get the project along. In addition to the rental properties that I had sold, so I had to kind of bootstrap it to get it to the point to where the first 3 houses could be built and sold, and then once you have 3 houses built and sold, that sets the what they call in real estate comparable sales numbers, which makes appraising deals a lot easier. And then once a bank sees, okay, 3 people have agreed to pay this amount for a house in this market, then we believe that the value is there. And so then after that, it's become easier. Now the banks will lend for these projects and things like that. It literally took me about 18 months to get to construction on the first one. I went to like 23 different lenders and private investors that told me no. And the 24th one was finally the one that said yes for the vertical construction after we had put everything else in place.
Right. So basically what you have to do, which is, ladies, remember what I said last week, you got to build this stuff, whether it's content, whether it's the house. You are the anti-Monique. You basically have to get them 99% of the way there and be like, listen, look at what I built. And then they gave you that 1% and said, okay, you have the money. So that's what it's about, guys. It's about tenacity. You have to build this. You got to build this spaceship, fix it, get it all the way there, and then somebody will give it to you. Don't be like Monique and be like, look at my past work, or you should just do it to me. Nah, that's what not people are doing. Right. Chris is literally showing you an example on the real estate side of what he had to do. And guys, 18 months is really 2 years. A lot of you guys barely want to wait 18 seconds for anything. So Chris, tell us about kind of like your tenacity and work ethic to get all those no's and finally get that yes. Like, how was that waiting period?
you just have to be relentless. You know, it's never comfortable. Every time I do a new project, I'm like, I'm not doing anything else this crazy. And then I find myself doing something crazier. But you know, I like the challenge of doing something that everybody believes is impossible. And I used to spend a lot of time like debating with people, more education, very much more articulate than me, and they could give you these great reasons why it would never work. And so I just got tired of entertaining that conversation. Just said, okay, I'm just gonna get it done, and no matter how long it takes, I'm gonna make it happen, and I'm gonna set a new blueprint that can be replicated and duplicated. And so that's literally what I've been doing. And it's been working, but like I said, it's never easy, especially when you're doing something where you don't have a lot of people that have actually done what you're trying to do. You just have to keep pressing forward. You have to stop focusing on worrying about the current issue and focus on finding a solution to the current issue, which, your energy should always be spent on the solution. You should, address the problem one time and spend the rest of the time finding a solution.
Absolutely. And definitely, I love your business point about like asking for naysayers and talking and so on and so forth. The whole move in silence principle with what you do is what I really enjoy. When you just surprise people like, hey, new offering and stuff like that. People should apply that, I think, across all industries, because like I was talking to a business partner of mine today, and she talked herself out of applying for the PPP loan because people that don't even know, that aren't even business owners, they're still in corporate, were telling her, oh, well, you probably won't qualify, you probably won't get it, this, and she just listened to this and listened to that. And I was like, well, you just let like a whole bunch of money go by. I just got my forgiveness loan for the first draw and just got my second one. I was like, so the first thing you want to do as an entrepreneur, as Chris has said, guys, shut your pie hole. That's the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do is let the work speak for itself. Okay. The third thing you want to do is solve the problem. So you know what we talked about last week, which is pulling weeds and eating frogs. That's what you want to do all day. You want to pull the weeds and eat the frogs. Okay. Because the solution is what you're looking for. The journey is great, but you want to get to solution and problem solving, and not a whole bunch of this and not a whole bunch of that. Because everybody has an opinion till they get punched in the face. Shout out to Mike Tyson. So talk to us, just looking at the time, talk to us about being a Black male kind of like entrepreneur. This is going to be really ghetto, but I got to get my power cord and it's over there. So I want you to talk to the people honestly about being a Black male entrepreneur, coming from an engineering corporate background. And did you ever think, as a kid, eventually I want to own my own thing? Or did you think that this is what you wanted to do and this is the route that you would go?
Yeah, so being a Black male entrepreneur, of course, there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of gatekeepers that don't look like us and don't really have an interest in our community or our prosperity. So it was a challenge at first when my focus was trying to get through the door with them or get approval from them for things. And then I had that epiphany moment, like I said, in 2014, where I realized, wait a minute, I don't have to wait for them to approve me for anything. I don't have to knock on the door. I can create my own door and walk through it myself. And so that's what I decided to do. I decided to focus on all of the resources that we had in our community that could help me, so that I was no longer dependent on the prejudice, the racism, some of it's classism. The wealthy want to stay wealthy and don't want to let many people in. And for me, it's always been a challenge. But what I also recognized is that it's different when you're asking somebody for permission to do something than it is when you are bringing something to the table and it can be an equal transaction or a barter situation. And so that was my goal. My goal was to get out of the position of asking somebody to help me or asking somebody to give me the benefit of the doubt to believe in me for the first project. It was like, let me go ahead and prove myself first, and then and then go to them and see if there's some way we can work together. Like I said, the same banks that told me no before offer me $800,000 a piece now to fund some of the construction on these deals. But at one point in time, I was asking for permission for them to help me get started. Now I'm bringing something to the table. It's a proven track record, and they can see how their bank can make a return off of their investment. So and in the corporate world, it was the same thing actually. When I had a job, I couldn't just pick up the phone and talk to a VP of a Fortune 500 company. But when I left, I actually did consulting work for a few years, and I was bringing them business. And at that point, the VP wanted to talk to me when I had a big deal at the table. So it's different when you're asking for permission, trying to walk through a door, or when you bring value and they understand that you have something to trade them in exchange for their time, their energy, their efforts, and their ear. So
Exactly. And the lesson I want people to get out of that is that people think entrepreneurship is this walk in the park. Oh, I worked in corporate. I'll never have anyone tell me anything again. Welcome to our world. Okay, people, this is the real. All right. You get the same behavior from the W-2 that you get on your 1099. So I honestly like the tenacity that you have. I like what you said about how entrepreneurship, the constant asking for permission. So you are proving yourself in corporate, but then you have to prove yourself with the banks. And that's the only thing I hate about being Black entrepreneurs. It's like with the pitch competitions. I mean, Black women get up there with all these amazing ideas. And then, you got 4 white guys or someone that says, well, I just can't see the journey, or I just can't see how it happens. And, my good girlfriend, Melissa Butler from the Lit Bar that was on Shark Tank 7 years ago, from Detroit, from Detroit, they told her to take Lit Bar outside and shoot it. And they called her a cockroach because Black women don't want to buy high-end pigmented makeup for themselves. Now she just opened her flagship store on the river, you'll love this, in the gentrified brand new area of the Detroit waterfront, and had the vice president sitting in there sipping some tea 2 months ago. So to your point.
Wow. Yeah. Yes. And on that topic, when you're talking about like raising capital, getting people to invest, my second project, the one I'm actually in now, this was a $1 million crowdfunded project. And I allowed anybody and everybody to invest as little as $250 in Fifth Ward in this portfolio of rental properties and these 2 commercial buildings. And if I had gone to a bank once again, or if I had asked a wealthy investor to put the money up, they would have said, we don't see the value in it. Or they would have gave me a really hard time and wanted to take 50-60% of the ownership, And so, but what I was able to do is just take the same idea, just like you're talking about the lipstick. This is real estate. This is gentrification. We all understand what that is. So when we have a conversation with each other, we know the frustration that we have internally, just like Black women have the frustration with lip colors that match their skin tone. And so it becomes a natural conversation. And when you bring a natural solution to that group, then they buy in and they invest. And so, I didn't have to wait for anybody. I put the project together. I put the prospectus out there, the presentation, had conversations through social media, through blogs, and through podcasts, and raised $1,070,000 in 7 months. And so now everybody that believe in that vision owns a piece of that. You can do the same thing with the company. People can own equity in your company the same way. And you can have buyout clauses. You can have, like in this project, there's 2 classes of ownership. I have Class A ownership shares. Everybody else is Class B. So they don't really have any decision-making rights. They're just along for the ride. And so it's very feasible. It's very plausible. And I've already started paying out distributions to the investors. So so they're seeing a return on their money. So if we can open up dialogue about crowdfunding and make it more understood by a majority of our community, I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs will be in a better position because they can go out to their peers and raise the capital instead of waiting for that group of 4 white people on that panel to tell you you're good enough to be funded.
Well, Chris, that might be one of our in-person panels. We might have to have that this spring. What do you think? I'm gonna throw the challenge out there: Champagne and Melanin, and Invest to Buy the Block, because I'm all about the crowdfunding. Anything VC capital equity raise, that's been my space since 2020. So I mean, if that's something you want to discuss, I mean, it's just like
sure.
PPP,
Definitely. I'm all about giving exposure to it and getting people educated on what it requires and how
I mean, I'm
set
talking
it up.
about from scratch, like soup and nuts, like walking through. It's just like a PPP conversation. What for me seems simple, but other people may be like it's Greek. So if you're there, I'm there, we can pull a couple other people together. I think we should have a live crowdfunding panel in person, COVID, but because this is something people need to know. I'm not going to lie. We need to know this now at the beginning of the year, because you've got to it takes work, as you know. You got to get your video shot. You got to get your content done. You got to figure out your raises. You got to figure out your levels. So it's not like I'm starting on Monday. It's preparation. So I'm all for it. If you want to do it, we'll talk about it offline. What you think?
Sure, sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So just looking at time, we're doing really good on time. So what gems can you drop for us in 2021 regarding, listen, I want to get into real estate investing. What would be my first couple of steps to become, a mogul such as yourself, or at least move towards something like that?
Yeah. Okay. So understand that there's two ways to make money in real estate. One is the value appreciation, which equates to equity, which is the difference between what you owe on the property and what it's worth. So you want to make sure that you're investing in areas where what it's worth is going to be going up, right? And then the other way you make money in real estate is if you're an investor that's holding real estate. Let me clarify. Is the difference between what you make in monthly payments and expenses tied to the property, which is your mortgage, uh, insurance, taxes, any other maintenance, and what the rental rate is. So you want to make sure that any properties you're buying, that the rents are significantly above the mortgage payments and the taxes and the insurance combined. And then and some people don't even think about commercial real estate, but you can actually buy a small commercial building for the same price as a house, and then have a business as a tenant. And what's even better about business investment properties is that the tenant actually pays the insurance and the taxes and does a lot of the repairs on behalf of you as a landlord, because that's written into the lease. So those are some basic tenets that you need to be looking for. But what I tell people is success in everything requires three things. I call the success triangle. You need the knowledge and experience, you need the opportunity, and you need the money. Okay, so whichever one of those three you have, if you want to get into real estate, if you have the money, you don't have the knowledge and experience, and you need to network and get in the circles. There's actually a Houston Black Real Estate Investor Association. You can find them on Instagram just by searching for that. Nikki Handy actually runs that. And her cousin, yeah, she and her cousin run that. But say all that say, you can go out and find people that have the experience and partner with them. That's a lot better way to get started than trying to figure it all out on your own. This is not school. The best way to be successful is to cheat, aka copy off of somebody that's successfully doing it. Mm-hmm. And then learn how to find opportunities, which is that comes down to networking too. So you can use real estate agents. And I want people to realize that if you are buying real estate and you don't know what you're doing, or even if you halfway know what you're doing, there's still no reason for you not to use an agent, because for the buyer, an agent is completely free. The seller has to split that 6% listing commission with the buyer's agent for bringing the buyer. So you should absolutely always have somebody negotiating on your behalf when you're buying properties, if you're buying something that's listed on MLS somewhere. Yeah, so I think those are the basic building blocks. If you want to get started and you just want to know where to start, I have a membership program where it's like a living library of information. It's a bunch of documents, a bunch of recorded Zoom calls from our small group mentorship sessions, and it's a lot of step-by-step acclimation for somebody that's completely novice to somebody that's ready to actually start investing in real estate. And the website is newrealestateblueprint.com. Real easy, newrealestateblueprint.com. You can go there, and it's a wealth of information for you. I'm always adding new content to it. And I think these for you to really get going and get started and be successful.
Absolutely. And I love that, guys. And as you know, nifty StreamYard, you can check it out right here at the website, www.newrealestateblueprint.com. Again, that's newrealestateblueprint.com. My laptop has been acting up, so I'm trying to be very careful putting the banners and stuff on here. So I'm just going to drop that on. I'm going to take that right back off so you can still see Chris. So a few more minutes. I don't want to lose him, guys. I cannot wait to get my new Apple MacBook. If you look over there, it's just sitting right there. I just need to upload it. Take her to MicroSet and get all this stuff off the old one. Yes, guys, yeah. I have a 2012 MacBook Pro, 15-inch, best laptop I ever had. But Lucy, you're going down, girl. So anyway, so how can we close this out? And hold on one second. I'm just going to remove you out of the green room. And I'm going to add you right back. Boom. Perfect. Something about the banners that they just don't like you, Chris. They want to pixelate you. Look how crazy on my end. So 2021, this is the year of getting an entrepreneurship for some people. You know, you and I, we've been doing this years now. I mean, you know, 5 years, 8 years, me 10 plus years.
Mhm.
What are some gems and nuggets you can drop just from an entrepreneurial perspective of how to really grab 2021 and 2022 by the horns, but working smarter and not harder for the people?
I would say the most important thing you can do, number one, is have the right mindset. So you need to read books about that. One book that I read is called Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, and then the 4-Hour Work Week. Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy talks about the highs and lows of getting into entrepreneurship. It's completely different from school and the world of work, where you're told you have to be right all the time. The highest performer is the one that gets it right 100% of the time. That's not true in entrepreneurship. Failure is going to happen. You have to just be willing to accept that and say it's feedback on what I need to adjust to keep going. I mean, you have to have that tenacity about you to say, no matter what challenges I have, I'm going to keep pushing forward. I would say also getting in the right circles and being around the people that are actually doing what you're trying to do is much more important than trying to convince your friends and family that you're going to be successful. And also realize that if you have a legitimate business, you don't need your friends and family to patronize as much, because you should have a product that has mass appeal where, when you put that product out there, there's a demand for it. I think those are the early frustrations a lot of people have. Number one, talking to the wrong people, staying in the wrong circles of communication, and not focusing or being around people that have actually already accomplished what they're trying to accomplish. And focusing on trying to get the friends and family to be your biggest supporters, when in actuality, you should be building a brand and marketing to an audience of potential buyers or potential customers that have a need for the product that you are trying to offer. That doesn't matter if you're selling a physical product, if you're selling a service, or if you're selling an idea, if you're selling yourself, whatever you're selling, you have to have those things in mind. And don't be afraid to do some work for free to establish a case study, because having that proof and that result may put you in a better position to go to somebody else to actually get the money. There's a lot of people that have money but just don't have time, and they would like to just give their money to somebody that can bring it back to them with the return, with some profit. And so, if you take the time to sacrifice on the front end, work as hard as you do for your business on yourself, get those results, then it's time to go to ask somebody else, maybe to partner and invest in whatever you have going on. Do that in that order. I think that's another frustration people have. People ask people to invest in them before they have any results, when they just have an idea. Everybody has great ideas.
Chris,
but you have to prove,
everybody.
Yeah. So, but you have to prove.
It's a great idea to tell you what you should be doing with your ideas and your business.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation.
Right. Whole different conversation. But you're right about that too. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And just don't be afraid of no. Don't be afraid of people not wanting to buy from you, because that's just a part of the process. That person is saying not right now, it's not for me. It's really not anything personal towards you. So don't take that stuff personal. You just have to go through more no's to get to the yeses. Take feedback and on things that you can do better along the way. Just keep adjusting. I always say, be steadfast in your goal, but be flexible in your approach, because things will change along the way. And you just have to be in a position to say, hey, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to adjust this, and I'm going to keep pushing towards the goal.
I love it. And you know what? We love a good book on here. So guys, just in case you missed that, Chris said you need to get the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. One of our other favorites, the 4-Hour Work Week. I'm going to add my little gem in that I'm doing for this year, and I've been sticking with it. Guys, we love to do a product. The 5 a.m. Club, by Robin Sharma. This book has changed my life. As creators and entrepreneurs, our days can get chaotic. They can get away from us. And now that we're not in our corporate W-2, that structure that we need. So I have started getting up at 5 a.m. I started in my birthday in December last year. And I will honestly tell you, from a business and a life perspective, I could have literally been Oprah if I would have read this book already, because my day is pretty much done by 9:45 a.m. So remember what Chris just said about working smarter, not harder? Guys, between 5 a.m. and 9:45 a.m., my entire business day, from making money, emails, everything is done. So 5 a.m. Club, Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, and 4-Hour Work Week. You got it from Chris Senegal and your girl, Jules. So closing out, this has been amazing. You are our first first man, first guy, first
I'm honored. I'm honored.
Listen, first house, we're gonna have to get a little plaque. Like Chris was here first because we got so much complaints over the last 2 years. The fellas love champagne and melanin. You know, they're like, we need stuff too. We want a brunch too. We want a workshop too. I'm like, y'all want a brunch too? So apparently men want a brunch, they want a workshop, but they want to be featured. So this was a great way to kind of weave in some guys that not only that I admire, but I also feel are true entrepreneurs that are getting something done. So you were my first selection, first person, and you said yes immediately. So I think that shows my brand equity and my brand clout. You know, shout out to the hard work. So definitely, so we've loved having you. So that was a great wrap up. If you could drop one more nugget about the Chris Senegal way to think about things, what would that be?
Let me think. One more nugget would be, let's see. I said it earlier, but I'm gonna reiterate it. Have somebody in your circle that's actually done what you're trying to do. It's great to have people that all aspire to do what you're trying to do, and y'all all trying to get to the same goal. But if you have not had somebody in your circle that's actually done it, you just don't know what you don't know. And there's certain things that you could tweak to get over the hump faster to reach that level of success. So make sure you seek out a mentor. It could be local market, it could be out of town, but just find somebody that's actually where you want to be, and do exchange whatever you can to get that information out of them.
Absolutely, guys. Seek out someone that is doing better than you, a mentor, or is light years ahead of you, and use that person as your North Star. You have to have someone to focus on. It's all great when we're all in the mud and arms linked, but you need a North Star. So definitely add that to your repertoire if you don't have one. In 2021, Chris Senegal said so, and so did I on Champagne and Melanin, a Black Girl Boss Chat. Chris, our time is up, but this has been amazing. So I think you're going to have to come back. Outside of Black History Month, I just feel that there's so much more, so many more gems, but I know the replay is going to be great. This was really, really good. We appreciate your time as a busy real estate investor, buying the block in Houston, probably expanding to other cities that we don't even know about yet, to give us an hour of your time for free, guys. This is not Clubhouse. These are the gems you're not going to get. This is amazing. And please don't send me an invoice. You know better.
No invoice.
Thank you. I'm going to drop you back in the green room, and then I'm going to wrap up. But thank you for your time, guys. This was Chris Senegal. You have been in the mind of $1 million real estate investor. Get the gems, get everything. It's going to live in the Facebook group, and it's going to live on the YouTube evergreen. So get ready, Chris. I'm going to push you back in the green room. Thank you for your time today.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
See you later.
We'll talk to you soon, babe.
Okay. Bye.
You guys, that was Chris Senegal, mind of a millionaire real estate investor. I feel poor. Do you feel poor? I feel like I got to add something else to the toolkit. What do you guys think about me possibly getting my real estate license? I don't know, but I think I'm like Chris. I don't want to get it investing. You see the house? I really want to get into like home staging and everything that goes around that, because homes sell, I think 74 to 82% quicker if people can visualize what the home looks like as opposed to an empty box. So I'm kind of like Chris. I would get my real estate license to have the clout and have the clarity and have the yes, I have it, but I want to go a whole different direction, like marketing and branding and PR and like kind of selling a person and not products is my thing. So what do you guys think if I got my real estate license and maybe open like a home staging company or helping people that flip and investors, helping them, okay, after we've got the shell, now let's make this house a home. I don't know. Drop that in the comments. Do you think I'd be good at that? I don't know. I think I'd be good at that. I just love to add on tools. Anyway, this has been episode 7 of A Black Girl Boss Chat Black History Month series. We've got 1 down, we've got 2 down, we got 3 more to go. So far, this series is going so well. We just talked to Chris Senegal, the investor, Mr. Hashtag Buy the Block. We were just the sign of a real estate millionaire investor in Houston. Follow him _INVSTR on Instagram. Follow him on Clubhouse at Chris Senegal. And this has been absolutely amazing. We're doing good with the time. We're doing good with everything. So we're going to keep it under an hour. We are right at an hour and 2 minutes. So I'm super excited to see you guys next week. We're going to be talking with my girl, Dr. Taraya Richmond. We're going to be talking about sexual health, what you need in 2021, and get it down to the kitty gritty, baby. So that's going to be a really good one. So, as Black entrepreneur women, we have to be healthy, we have to be happy, and we have to be whole. So that's internal as well as external. So I'll see you guys next week on episode 8 of A Black Girl Boss Chat. Black History Month edition, brought to you by Champagne and Melanin. Your girl Jules, love having you here. Drop down in the comments on the YouTube, drop down in the comments on the Facebook group. Check me out on the Instagram, and we'll see you next week.